Good morning. Good morning and welcome. Welcome to the Center for Creative Living. We're so glad to have you here. It's a great day, and it's a little chilly out, so I hope you all are nice and warm and cuddled up in your blanket or whatever, so I can see you, but know that you're nice and warm. That's an important thing. And we're going to be talking a lot about bringing about peace. So before we start the show today, think about how you feel about peace. Just put that in your heart, put that in your mind of what's about peace that's eluding you right now. So when I start talking about it, you'll get the energy, you'll get the what I'm talking about. So just think of peace, okay? And we're going to start out with Janet. Janet, do you want to do a song? Do you want to do a meditation? Or would you like to do both?
Well, there we go. We'll
Okay,
just figure out what to do. And I just want to say, honoring peace, I got us a blue candle.
great.
And,
Wonderful.
uh, and may we light this candle for the peace within us, the peace around us, and the peace between us.
Oh, good.
Within us, around us, and between us. And just
Wonderful.
breathing that in, right? Right, just breathing
Yes.
in that wonderful peace. We can have it everywhere. We can have it everywhere. Yeah. And so just as you are meditating, I'm just going to put this candle right here. And if anyone needs me to bring it closer to the screen, you let me know. But it is the light that you bring that brings peace. That brings peace. And I'm reminded by a quote by Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King that said, "I may not always be able to do great things, but I can do small things with great love." I may not always be able to do great things, but I can do small things with great love. And I think what he was saying with that is that we have the opportunity, to bring peace just in our beingness, just in our beingness. And so I'm going to invite us all to just take a nice deep breath. And I'll get my little guitar in here. And just allow yourself, as you're taking a nice deep breath, just breathe in for a moment. And just allow yourself to breathe out. And just let yourself make a sigh as you breathe out. Breathe in and breathe out. That's it. And one more time. Breathe in and then breathe out. And just feel the power of your breath, how it brings you to this very moment. And we may have come to today with many burdens in our backpack, maybe many worries we have about the world, about our own life, about ourselves, and maybe pains or losses or griefs we've gone through. And I'm just going to offer that we allow ourselves to, as we're intaking and exhaling, that we take that backpack off. So just allow yourself to pick up the backpack. Okay, grab it with both of your arms and pick it up. Okay, pick it up and throw it to the side. Right, that's it. Beautiful, beautiful job, beautiful job. Because what we're going to do is we create sacred space whenever we come together. And isn't that amazing? And so
Right.
this is our safety zone. This is our sacred place. Yeah, that's it. That's it, Miss Joyce C. I see you just flipping that away. I love it. And as we are here together, feel the circle building. Feel the circle of energy, of love, just building, getting stronger and stronger. And with every rhythm of your heartbeat and your breath, we are here. We are here in the land of peace. Oh, it's flowing like a river into the ocean of love. And it breathes, breathes, breathes into our heart, into our heart. And it sings, sings, sings into our soul, into our soul. And we are breathing peace, living peace, feeling peace, knowing peace. And we're holding peace, living peace, and breathing peace, and knowing peace. Peace flowing like a river, flowing, flowing into the ocean of our lives, into the ocean where we realize we are building, 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 building peace. And oh, like a river it flows into our hearts. And we are living, 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 living peace. And we are building, 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 building peace. And let it be, let it be. Oh, let it be, let it be. Oh, let it be, let it be. Let it be. Oh, let it be, let it be. Let it be, let it be. Let it be, let it be. Let it be peace. And we're flowing like a river, holding hands with each other, holding the ground for peace. And we're dreaming it in our hearts. And with every step we take, we hold it, hold it, hold it high like a candle. Ooh, like a candle shining in the dark. Oh, like a candle in our heart, like a candle in our heart. just feel that candle of peace growing, that light of peace glowing in every aspect of your life. Know that you have the power to bring it forth in every cell of your being. Feel it settle. Feel that river touch the shores of your heart and your mind and your life. And everywhere where there is discord, everywhere where there is aloneness or struggle, just feel that river. Feel that river flowing to those parts, washing it clean with the peace that we can be for ourselves and for the world. And with every moment and every breath, we are bringing it. We're letting that river flow in us and through us and out to the world. Flowing, flowing in us, through us, out into the light of peace, the light of love. Oh, we are flowing, flowing, oh, we're growing, growing, growing into the light of peace and love. And so as we are here, feeling that strength of that river of energy and light, reaching every part of us, in our hearts and in our souls, and every part of us that reaches out to the world, that every step we take, every breath we make is filled with that light, and it grows stronger and stronger, emanating out through our heart, touching every part of our physical body, our ethereal body, our spiritual body, and out to the world, out to the world. And it is a river. We are a part of that river. We are the river. And every act we do can be an act of peace. Every act we do can be a dream and a hope for unconditional love. And it starts with us. It starts with loving every part of ourselves, even the strongest, and most difficult issue we might have. Let's wrap it around with love. And let's bring it to this moment, to this time of healing. And just to know that in every way, we are that gift to each other. And so feel it. It's like a warm, gentle river of light flowing through you. It can be any color you want, whatever color you associate with peace and healing and love. Every moment is filled with peace, and I am the river of love, and every moment is filled with peace and glows with peace, and every moment love, ooh, peace, oh, peace, oh, peace, oh, I feel the candle flame of peace.
Oh, thank you so much, Janet. That was such a wonderful beginning to the talk I'm going to be giving today. And thank you for the candle. That's wonderful. I'm going to talk about bringing about peace. It does not mean to be in a place where there's no noise, trouble, or hard work. It means to be in the midst of those things to still be calm in your heart. You still have things calm in your heart. Think about those things. Think about what it means to be calm. How many of you are feeling depressed by what is happening in the world and anxious about what is yet to come? How many of you are feeling that?
Yeah.
I'm sure there's quite a few that are feeling it. Do you know or even think about these faithful, fearful, stressful thoughts are being harmful to your immune system? Think about that. What you worry about brings down your immune system. Stop thinking about the negative because you can't change it. And our immune system is the body's defensive mechanism keeping us safe from bacteria, germs, and viruses. It is imperative to limit the negative effects of stress. However you can limit it, it's important. Just think about it. One of our strangest human desires is for peace, whether it be peace between nations, peace in our country, peace between neighbors, or even peace within our own minds. Unfortunately, as humans, we tend to worry about that, get anxious and stressed.
No.
So we've got to find a way to limit the stress that we put on ourselves about peace. I know that for the last several months, we've all experienced unprecedented global anxiety. And everywhere you look, people are stressed about politics. They're stressed about sickness, about finances, civil unrest, work, relationships, family. The list goes on and on. It's difficult to find peace during these circumstances. However, you need to stop worrying about the things you can't change. If you can't change it, let it go. Let it go. Finding peace should not just be a matter of worrying about it. Worrying about it doesn't do anything. It is first finding your peace of mind, reaching out to help from the situation, and then turning on your universal energy. We all have universal energy. Universal energy is when you pay attention to physical shifts in your emotions, such as sudden feeling of peace or joy, bodily sensations such as tingling, warmth, or a series of lightness. Trust your gut feelings and inner knowing. By incorporating these things into your life, you can calm yourself down. Think of that you have the ability to calm yourself down. Having peace doesn't mean you will not have conflict, stress, or difficult times. Peace is knowing that spirit is in control, and you are doing your best to shut out negative voices. Media, shut out the media if it's talking about things that are stressful. Release the inner conflict that you have and allow universal energy to shine. What do you believe needs to occur to make world peace come around? Think about that. What is it that you feel needs to happen for universal peace? Believe that peace can happen anytime, any place. Believe it. Know it. Don't keep falling into that abyss of, oh my gosh, this is going to happen, that's going to happen. Instead, follow your self ability to look at universal energy and calm yourself down. Every time you get struck by, oh my gosh, this is going to happen, stop it and say, this doesn't have to happen. And if it does, I'm not going to get upset. There are so many things that people worry about and believe that they can happen anytime. Love the idea of living in harmony more than the idea of living in chaos. When you think about everything as being chaotic, it becomes chaotic. You have the ability to change how you see things. Start looking at how you can change your way of looking at things. Spend time each day visualizing how your own life will be different when peace grows in all your relationships. Your relationship with your partner, your relationship with your children, your relationship with your work in your work energy fields. Think about how you can cause peace to be and not just ignoring it. So many times people say, well, I would like it to be peaceful, but I don't know what to do about it, so I'm not going to do anything. That doesn't help. Find ways to look at being peaceful and utilize them. Utilize them in your life, how you can change things into being peaceful. And you'll find that the joy of this, believing in peace, so much more overwhelms you than the things you were worrying about. Think about how you can feel peaceful about things and look at it differently. Look at if there's something going on with your relationship, find a way to make it peaceful. It doesn't mean you can't leave the person you're with if the relationship is so bad. It just means that you can look at it, decide what you want, what is the best thing for you to find peace, and then go with it. Looking at what's happening in a peaceful way, instead of looking at what's happening and, oh, this is happening, oh, this person's doing this, oh, this is awful. Calm it down. Find the peace aspect of anything that you're not agreeing with. You could be, you don't agree to the people who pick up your garbage. They drop some on the street, they don't pick up the garbage. They're doing things that irritate you. Just find the peace within it. Go out and pick up the garbage, or decide it doesn't need to be. They're going to come back and pick it up. I mean, silly things get people so upset that they realize that their life is not peaceful, it's not going to be, and that's the way it is. The world is asking for your light. Find a way to give back and make a difference. Help someone else. You and I make all the difference in whether the world grows more chaotic or more peaceful. Think about that. You're in charge of whether the world is going to be more peaceful. It's not the senators, it's not what's going on in the world to bring about peace. It's you. You need to find the peace in your life. Instead of saying, well, if they did such and such, I could be peaceful. Stop and say, I can be peaceful right now. And start honoring it within you. Start looking at it, saying to yourself, this is what makes me feel peaceful. And we only need a heart full of grace, a soul generated by love. Love the people that you are right now saying they've got to change, they've got to do things different, stop it. Stop finding so much wrong with what's going on and say, I'm going to bring about peace in my life. And then help bring about peace in your family. Instead of yelling at the kids about not picking things up, say, we need to pick up things because. Put out a reason why things need to be done instead of constantly being upset by things. Think of things that need to be done in the country and feel a sense of things that could be happening instead of watching the news and being so upset every day about what you think is happening. It's not as bad as you are anticipating. So start looking at the peace in what's going on. Just look at other humans and recognize them as people. Instead of saying, well, they're this and they're bad and they're not good, say, they're people. They're doing what they feel is best. I'm going to find a peace within this. And find the peace within what is bothering you. Find the peace within your health. For me, with my knees and making me so I can't walk, I found peace with them and said, I can do a lot of things from my rolling chair. I can find peace with what I need to be doing instead of complaining and arguing with my body. You could become peaceful with your body. That's the first thing you do. And then you start becoming peaceful with your neighbors or your family or your children. It doesn't mean they have to do what you want them to. Just find a peace between the two of you with all things that are going on. It's okay to hug them. When you have problems with family, just go up and hug them. We all need hugs. And if there's somebody who's grumbling at you and griping at you and making you feel awful, then just hug them. Now, unless they're hurting you. If they're hurting you, then you have to decide how you're going to handle it. You might want to bring about peace with yourself by leaving them, but do it in a peaceful way. So many of the things we read about in the news about people hitting each other, killing each other, being mean to each other are non-peaceful. But they could have been if each one of the people involved in the situation decided, let's look at this in a peaceful way. And in a peaceful way is looking at somebody with love and appreciate who they are. Instead of looking at somebody you love and say, well, they're no good, they did this, they did that, let's find a way to get in peace. Remember how every Sunday we used to sing This Little Light of Mine? That was a peaceful song. This little light of mine, I'm going to let it shine. This little light of yours is your peaceful light. And you can let it shine anytime through anything that's going on. If there's anger in the family, find a place of peace. If there's anger with your employees or your employer, find a place to put it in peace. It sounds like it's difficult, but it really isn't. When you say to yourself, there's going to be an aspect of peace in this situation, and then find it. And quite often the finding peace is finding your love of the situation. Now, if you don't like your job and you don't care for your boss, think about finding another job. But think about what is it that's bothering you and analyze it and say, I don't like the way the boss talks to me, and talk to the boss and say, I'd like a peaceful way for us to communicate. Some of you will say, well, my boss wouldn't go for that. Then you say, I'm going to say it a different way. I'm going to say, I find that I want to be more peaceful in my job. Could you help me? Turn it around, but look for the way to bring about peace. There's so much going on that has to do with organizations not being peaceful. There's groups of people that are always complaining, and if you work in a job like that, find a way to calm it down. You don't need to add to it. Calm it down. That's true in anything when it's not being peaceful. You don't want to add to it. You want to calm it down. So start looking at your universal energy to shine. That universal energy of shining is bringing about peace and doing it in a way that makes you feel good about yourself. If you only feel good about yourself by saying, well, those people aren't any good, they're lousy, then stop it and say, let's find peace. Let's not find anger. Let's not find this energy that we feel runs everybody, because it doesn't. It's anger just as something running you. Find a way to be peaceful. And when you do that, when you start looking at ways to be peaceful, you're going to be amazed at how many different things you can do to find peace. It's so easy to be angry and so difficult to be peaceful. But when you're peaceful, you can bring about so much coolness in your life instead of the heat of being angry. So think of the ways you can do it. The other thing about peace is that it's a way for you to communicate. Instead of saying, you should do this, for me, saying, I feel that we could come to a place of peace if you and I did such and such. Use it in your description of what's going on. Now, when I talk about what's going on in the government, and I talk about what's going on with other people, realize that your getting angry doesn't solve anything. It doesn't. Look at it in a peaceful way. If you're upset with your body because your body's not doing what it should, find a place to be at peace with that. And peaceful with your body is what turns your energy around, which turns your way of thinking about things around, which makes it so much easier for you to heal. As we said, with you getting angry, it interferes with everything in your body. So what I'd like for you to do is to think about things that you would like to be peaceful about that you're not. Think about things that irritate you, and think about today, just today, of changing it. If you're upset about the government, say to yourself, there's going to be peace in this aspect. Let the universal energy flow through you. If you're upset at somebody in your family, think about it. Think about, what am I gaining by being upset? And figure out a way to change it so you can find the peace within you. That's the hardest thing, is finding the peace within you. It's so easy to be upset with everybody else. Find the peace within you where you're not upset with yourself and you're not upset with other people. And then you do that, realize that you're bringing about that universal energy which helps everybody and everybody around you become peaceful. But you've got to start it. It's a hard concept for a lot of people to find peace, especially with family, especially with what's going on in the world. Now, what I'd like for you to do is right now, close your eyes and go inside and think about something that does not give you peace in your life right now. And as you think about it, think about letting it go. Think about letting it go. Think about letting it go. So that what you're replacing it with is acceptance of an energy that you don't like, but you're going to find peace with it. And find a peace with it. And if you can't, then remove it. Then get out of the situation. Make a change. But you have to find peace. And open your eyes. And think about what you were thinking about. And why do you need it to be peaceful? And as you think about it, we're going to ask you to add something you would like to the service today, or say something that would be beneficial to people that are going through loving times, not that are not going through loving times, that are going through difficulties. What information would you give them of how you found peace in a situation? Do we have anybody who'd like to do that? Anybody who has, yes, Annie.
As everybody knows, music is my go-to. And somebody asked me the other day, how do I work on my own healing and so on and so forth. They asked me if I Reiki myself. And I said, I'm too attached for that. I go to music. And when I led the choir, sang a lot of songs by an artist called Donna Michael. She has a song that's called Perfect Peace. And I listen to it very frequently when I'm feeling that out of balance feeling. And if I can just quote a little bit of lyric, which is perfect peace comes to me, all is as it should be. I release, I let go, and I know perfect peace.
Great. Fantastic. Thank you for sharing, Annie. Anybody else have anything they'd like to share about what kind of peace do you find? Joyce, was that your hand?
Yes.
Yes.
Well, I felt inspired. So I was writing down notes. You know, um, I find that it's really important for me to respect myself. I find that I learned that a long time ago. I think I was in my upper 20s. And those of you who know me know that I have a thing about Aretha Franklin. And but that particular song, I think, came out in the 60s. And you take the lyric and let it become yours. It's not, you can get up and dance if you want to. I mean, I try to hit the move. But the thing about it is, it's the song tells you what do you want, and that you can have it. So that's the key for me. That when I am having this inner turmoil, and sometimes mine are things that are old as opposed to something current, it will rise up from somewhere. Maybe I'm reading something or just writing or thinking about family. And that tends to trigger it like crazy if I'm not careful. And so what I do is I think about respecting me, respecting the person or persons, and do forgiveness. Those are the things that I do that really calms everything down in my life. The
Great.
respect and forgiveness.
Oh, fantastic. Yeah. Being able to forgive is a
Yes.
great way to come about peace. Anybody
Yes.
else have anything they'd like to add? Anybody? So there you go.
Arlene has her hand up.
So I just I think, Dottie, that you identified what is maybe the hardest aspect of the piece is sometimes you can't even find what it is. There are big things like world peace or political peace or family peace, or those are all big things. But what is the part in it that is affecting you? And then yours, if I'm understanding correctly, you're saying then turn it and find a way to find peace in it.
Right.
Sometimes, I mean, that's great when you can do it. Sometimes, personally, I feel overwhelmed and I have a very difficult time identifying that thing. So a long time ago, uh, I was inspired, or I don't know, but I came up with a mantra that I try to use when I feel that overwhelm hitting and I can't find the peace in me. And it's fairly simple. I just say, love, accept, allow, love. Oh. So I find myself repeating that at the weirdest times. And as soon as I do, I go, oh, wait a minute, where are you? What do you,
Good.
what's really going on here? Okay, let's go into this thing, So that helps me sometimes.
Wonderful.
Sounds great.
Thank you so
Thank
much
you.
for sharing that. Love, accept,
Wow.
allow. Yes, Janet.
Well, I think that's a chant.
Yes.
Love, accept, right? That is a
Yes.
chant, Arlene.
Yeah.
That's a chant we could maybe start off our day with.
Yes. Yes.
And I'm reminded, Reverend Dottie, of 9/11, 2001, and where we, in subsequent peace marches, we all created a song. As I was able to go back to New York City and be with some folks, and we were able to be together at those gatherings. And the chant is very simple. It's rising from the ashes, we're building a new day. Angels rising from the ashes, loving each other in a new way. Well, we are the hope. We are the unity, we are the unity, and we are the peace. We are the hope, we are the reason, we are the unity, we are the peace. We are the unity, and we are the peace. And I can remember an amazing story. We were at a peace march, and some of you were there many years ago. And a police officer came up to us who was, monitoring the march. And he said, that is the best thing I've ever heard. And so he actually joined us for a few steps, singing our
That's
chant.
great.
So, I just want to offer that, as for me, as Annie said so powerfully, music can get right to my source. And what I've found is that when I'm not peaceful, a lot of times it's because I'm afraid, and I may be angry, and right underneath that anger, it's because I'm afraid.
Right.
I'm afraid of losing something. I'm afraid of, you know, um, being annihilated. If you really come down to the core fear, and so when I can move into the space of saying, I'm going to claim being the hope, being the healing, being the unity,
Right.
and being the peace. And it's just as you said, Dottie, so beautifully, we have to embody it. And it starts off with being gentle with ourselves.
Right.
I know. I
Okay.
know. Thank you, Janet. That's awesome. I think you had a good part in that. Mine is Course Miracles. You're never angry about what you think you're angry about, and that love is always the answer. And I think that's really powerful. Love is always the answer, and I know when I work with people that in my hypnosis business is that it's what is it that you're really upset about, and usually it can be things like they're afraid that they're somehow responsible for something that's happened, or that people take on such huge, like they're not good enough. That is a huge burden, but if you just love yourself, which is hard to do, I know, it's easy to say just love yourself, but if you can find something about yourself that you could maybe like. Maybe love is too much for you, for you to do, to be able to love yourself today. But just, that you're an okay person, that you help people when you talk to them, that people seem to feel comforted. People call and want to be around you. People call you, they want to talk to you. And I don't know why we get this feeling that we're not enough when what else could you be but enough?
Wonderful. Yes, exactly. And that we are wonderful. We are great. We should love ourselves. That's the way to be peaceful, is accept that other people are not exactly like we are. But it's okay for them to be different. Yeah. Anybody else have something they'd like to add?
Ruth, say your comment. Say it, girl.
My the idea of loving myself like was completely foreign, but I didn't understand it. But it began when I read Mere Christianity, where C.S. Lewis talked about wishing for your own good, and that is when it started to click. And so I started being able to wish for my own good because I can wish for the good of others, like, you know, so wish it for myself as well. And that was easier than going, oh, I love myself.
Yeah.
So that was like the beginning.
Bringing about peace within yourself helps. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So wish for your own good.
Right.
Thank you. Thank you, Ruth.
Anybody else? Patty?
Yeah. Hi, good morning. I echo what many people have said. It's so easy to get off track with ourselves. And so I'll either resort back to a mantra of some kind, or I'll play some peaceful music. Sometimes it's chanting music just because I need to have it help me come to that place. And then I have to do what you're suggesting, Dottie, is that I have to understand what it is that's gotten me into that disharmony. It's like, why am I reacting the way that I am? Can I take some deep breaths and just let go of that? And does it need to be, is the situation as dramatic as I'm responding? I can do that easily. So it's a whole process. And I'm also discovering that I'm to find something really positive that I believe in and that I could put myself into changes how I'm viewing the world and brings me back to peace. And I'll
Right.
use an example here is that, those of you who know me know I love plants and I love medicinal plants. And so for the last year, I've been kind of a part of a group called United Plant Savers, and their slant is saving medicinal plants that are becoming extinct. And this year, during their donation time, they were really emphasizing one of their programs called Botanical Sanctuary Network. This caught my attention because what they're doing, there's about 3 of them in the United States, 300 of them in the United States, and they're people who are taking pieces of land and they're reviving and caring for and planting plants that are becoming extinct. 1/3 of our plant population is becoming extinct. And so the slant of this is not so much that kind of dark piece of information. It's more of how can we revive it? And once we put these plants in our area, it brings back the birds, it brings back the bees, all these everything in nature that comes back and it revolves around all these plants. And so it doesn't have to be big acreages. Most of the people have got big acreages, but it can also be in a small yard like mine. And so it's like, okay, I can now look at redoing my yard with the emphasis of bringing back native plants, bringing back the medicinals that we all can use, and bringing in an opportunity for the birds and the bees and everything that survives on these things to come back. And that has really shifted my view of the world. If I start to get a little anxious about what's happening, I just come back to something that's really positive for me, that will have a positive impact on the earth.
Right.
Just wanted to share that's helped me. And so it's a big package of all these alternatives that we can do to come back to peace. And it brings peace to me. It brings peace to me that, no, wow, that's such a cool idea. It's such a cool idea. You can even take a small, patio and plant things that would bring birds and bees to your area. So, like, how beautiful is that? So thank you. I just wanted to share.
Thank you so much. Thank you. That is wonderful. And Janet, could you mention the things that are coming up for you? You've got a couple of very important things that we want you to talk about.
Absolutely. I'm so excited. So, first of all, this upcoming Tuesday, we're going to be having our UCM kind of holiday gathering, and we're going to have a little talk. It's both via Zoom and in person. We're going to have food there, and so just please join us for that. Is where the normal Tuesday speaker series would be.
And there's
So
going to be a
typically
normal speaker series too.
Yeah, exactly right. And thank you, Corky, for that, because we want people to know it's in person and via Zoom. So, feel free to come to the UCM office. And so it'll be from about 6 to 8:30 or so. And we'll just be, sharing inspirational discussions in the beginning, the first part, and then the second part, we are going to be, just experiencing the healing of the holiday energy that can come when we come together. And then on Wednesday, December 11th, is our Light of Lights candle lighting ceremony. And I think this is close to our 40th year of doing it.
Woo!
At the Center for Living with
Let's
Dying.
give it.
And that is also both ways. It's hybrid. So you don't have to go in person if you don't want to. You can connect via Zoom, but come in person if you can, and we'll light the candles for what is going on in our world and what we're all dealing with, as well as for our loved ones. So we light community candles there, and then we light our own candle for whomever or whatever we would like to light it for. And then we take it home and keep lighting it throughout the holiday season.
Wonderful.
So it's an amazing ceremony. So especially if you are dealing with grief or loss, or you have friends that are, please come. Please come and experience the Light of Lights.
Right. Wonderful. Thank you so much. And speaking of the loss, a lot of us have lost people this year. It's been a difficult year for a lot of people. The people that I know that are on the board today have folks in the hospital. So look at that as a way to be peaceful. Accept that somebody is sick, but give it a peaceful energy instead of anger. Instead of angry, I hear people say, "Well, he shouldn't be sick." Well, just calm it down. Calm down the things that anger you and put it in a peaceful way of looking at it. And you'll find that you become a lot more calm, a lot more understanding. And all it is thinking about it in a peaceful way. So during this next week, if something comes up that gets you upset, say to yourself, how can I handle this in a peaceful way? And you're going to be amazed that there's so many ways that you can look at things in a peaceful way. Anybody else have something about they've handled in a peaceful way?
No,
Anybody?
I'd like to share a quick something about my dad. His birthday was December 25th, 1898. That's one thing I shall not forget. I might forget anything else, but don't, that one I won't. My father used to take me for walks. Actually, I always called him Daddy. And he would say, "Joyce, see, come walk with me." I said, "Okay, Daddy," because you never knew what he was going to say or what. And he'd get his gun and we'd go for a walk. And he would tell me a story or something. He would talk to me about something that had happened between me and my mom, whatever was going on. The final thing he would say to me was, "Now then, Joyce, see, now then." And what that meant to me is that he had talked about it, it was resolved and I could let it go. And it
Great.
was very important to me because what do you tell a child that don't know how to deal with situations that come at them like that? So even as an adult, we do the same, we have the same feelings, the hurt and everything. But it's important for us to realize that when we let something go, we can replace it with something. I replaced it with unending love with my dad. I knew where to go there. And I still do that every Christmas. My dad is there. My dad is there. And his teaching is with me and it carries me through the year. I hear him all the time telling me, now then, Joyce C., now then.
Oh, perfect.
Yes.
Yes. Thank you for saying that. That's
Yes.
a great way. Now then. Yeah. Yes.
Excuse me, Janet, Judy Hackett wants to know where the light of the light is going to be.
Yes, I just put it right into the text. It's at Westminster
Okay.
Presbyterian Church, 1100 Shasta Avenue. It's right behind the main church in this beautiful little chapel with actually a labyrinth on the floor. It's quite beautiful. And so meet us there and come in and bring anyone you would like. All are welcome.
Great.
It starts at 6 o'clock.
Wonderful. Thank you.
Okay, so you want me to read the
Yes.
thing? And Joyce, thank you so much for. We haven't heard a daddy story all week. You're doing great. Okay, so I'm going to. What am I going to do? I'm doing something.
You're going to read what people have said.
I'm going to read what people said. Okay, I'm going to unpin her, and I'm going to gallery, so we can kind of. Hi, everybody. Okay, so we have here that. Eileen, West Coast Eileen. Hi, good AM, and Jeannie Lyons was Janet. You are so inspirational. I felt this in my soul. And Eileen was like, thank you. You still have a really tough time. Yes. Oh, still having a really tough time since the election, despite my practice. Maria and Milana say good morning and blessings to all. This beautiful Sunday morning from Maria and Milana. Yes, it is beautiful. And Ruth says, loving myself started with wishing for my own good. Yes, and something I learned from the Mere Christianity by C.S. Lewis. And Stephen is mindfulness, intuition, and humility. And Annie is Oponopono. Wait a minute, that's too many. Yes. Anyway, forgiveness for self and others leads to love and inner peace. Yes, ma'am. And Eileen was, however, after teaching 6 hours of Qigong yesterday, with my students, we are shifting into gratitude and taking our inner peace back in connecting with the greater Qi field. Wonderful, awesome. And Judy Hackett was words of a lot of lights. Janet answered that question. And Sky said, what did Sky say? I love you, Mama Boon.
Thank you, Sky. Thank you so much for that. Anybody else? We have
wait a minute. And Kathleen Smoot. Hi, good morning. Everybody, sorry to be late. Glad to see everyone. Hi, nice to see you.
Hey,
Thank
good
you for
morning,
joining us.
Kathleen. Yes, it's wonderful to have you here. Think about, for this week, what is it you can do to change the way you think about things and make it more peaceful? Just think about it. Whatever it is. Whatever it is. Christine, you had your hand up? Oh, okay. So think about what you can change your attitude about, which you could say, I want the world to be peaceful. I'm not going to be focusing on anger about the election, about anger on what's going on in Israel, and about anger Instead, I'm going to think peaceful thoughts about everything and see if it doesn't change the way you look at life. Because what my guide says is that those of you who respect peace respect yourself. So that's a big thing. If you can respect peace in the world, you can respect yourself. But every time you get angry about something, you lose respect for yourself. So thank you so much for being here today. Thank you for showing up. Next week, let's hear from you about how it worked to respect some of the things that you were so upset about. It could be work, it could be government, it could be anything. But let's change it and talk about it next week. Love having you here. Love being here with you. Thank you so much.
Thank you, everyone.
And you have a wonderful weekend for the rest of the day.
Thank you. Good day, everybody.
Yes, thank you so much. It was nice having you here.
Thank
you.
Absolutely. Love to you. Be gentle with yourself.
Oh, thank you very much.
I'm going to give it a big go.